Hello, my name is Kathy Gudis. I'm pleased to introduce the small institution award-winning project, Evanston Policies and Practices Directly Affecting the African American Community. Morris Dino Robinson Jr. of Shorefront Legacy Center and Jenny Thompson of Evanston History Center researched and wrote this report as volunteers in 2020 for the city of Evanston, Illinois, the first local reparations program in the United States. The report details the long history of racial discrimination in the city from 1919 to 1969. The authors uncover previously unknown historical sources and use them to map the contours of discrimination on the landscape and in local laws. They also provide clear portraits of resilience among Evanston's Black residents. The report, which the authors consider a working document to be continuously added to and further refined, plays multiple roles, as they explain in the interview that follows. It supports the reparations program, it educates lawmakers and the public at large, and it makes a wealth of heretofore unknown documents digitally accessible. Their collaboration with local lawmakers provides an important template for the role of public history and public historians. Congratulations to Dino Robinson and Jenny Thompson. All right. Welcome. Thank you so much for agreeing to interview as part of the National Council on Public History Awards. I was wondering if we could start with you telling me how this report came to be.
There are two parts. I'll handle one part.
Okay.
It came with a lot of community and city officials' questions and combining them to one document.
Right. So after the local reparations legislation passed here in Evanston, we needed to provide that historical narrative that would explain to everyone, the public, and to the media what the history is. And the city was interested in documenting that history, not only for educational purposes, but also so that the case would be backed up with the facts, with the historical record.
And what stands out to you in each of those three arenas of work that this project necessitated? One being the process in which you're working with government agencies, the other being the research, and then the third being the public response.
Oh, with the public, with the government collaboration, we were actually more surprised that they were extremely supportive in this whole process. I thought there would be some pushback, but they were extremely open. They were inquisitive, and they wanted to find the facts, and they provided, documents that they couldn't access that easily, and let us access those. We ended up digitizing quite a few microfilm reels because of it.
Yeah, we were surprised. At first, we were kind of doing a survey based on the research we'd already done, so we already had a lot of it. But then the city was particularly interested in finding the evidence of city-involved practices, which is interesting because in so many cases, the city would do things that were discriminatory or would result in segregation, but they never really codified it, like in the city council minutes. So you really have to know how to read these documents. And we needed to look at those city council minutes, and surprise, surprise, they only existed in the city and they were on microfilm. So we had to, like Dino said, we had to put a FOIA request to get the microfilm and to go through those. So it was a lot of just, looking at what we had and then looking at what we might need and where those records would be. So.
And what about public response? What kind of public response did you get to the report?
I would say it's amazing, not only just on a local level, but a national and global level. So I think the visitation on the city's website, I wish I knew what the count was, but I can't remember a time where I have been interviewed by a different news media that would say, we read your report, and boy, was it enlightening.
And why do you think that this is important to public history? Why is this an important work of public history?
Well, I'll chime in and say that, it really is one of these, like for me as a public historian, one of those moments where you kind of live for, you've been researching for so long and doing work, and then somebody comes and says, this is so important. We need your help. We need your skills as a historian. We need your work. And this is important not only for the past to understand what happened, but for the present and the future, and to educate people. It's so empowering to see that. And to, like Dino said, to see the response of people saying, they knew bits and pieces maybe, but never saw it together in one report or document. And Dino and I still refer to the report as a working document because there's so much more. It's just the beginning.
It's just the nuances in all of this too. We can't just sit there and pinpoint like, here's what the city did,
Right.
and this is what happened. It's a combination of things that happen over the course of time, and that time had impact. And with our historical narrative with this report, we were able to demonstrate that and illustrate that in a clear, concise way that, the residents of Evanston and City Council could actually understand and put together the bigger picture.
That's really terrific. Thank you so much.